All right, so Jalen Ramsey got traded from the Dolphins to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Minkah Fitzpatrick. I will also say Jonnu Smith also was in that trade from Miami to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't really know how to feel about it, to be honest. I was like, I do think that getting Micah back to the Dolphins after we got rid of him the first time uh, will add a little pep to the step to the defense, just because I was like, he's a guy that can make plays and whatnot. So I was like, I do think that getting him for Jalen Ramsey, an older player in this instant, does make a bit of a, not like it's not too bad or whatever. Johnny Smith, I was like, I don't really get it, because I was like, he had such a phenomenal year, and I thought that he really added to the offense, and we haven't really basically figured out the tight end position. Outside of that 1 year of Gasecki, which I thought was actually like a pretty good year and whatnot, nothing. And you would think that we would, because I was like, gotta use a lot of these tight ends and a lot of this run scheme and stuff. Nothing really there. But I do think that the defense that doesn't really have a lot of talent on, especially on the back end, I was like young talent at that. That was like getting Micah. I think at least will, like I said, add a little bit of juice. After losing Hollins and stuff, that was like it would make. I was like, I'm not gonna make people question about throwing on them or whatever. It's just gonna just. But I was like, but we at least got somebody back there that you gotta like at least respect. Um, but I was like, Ramsey, I was like, I don't think he played that. I don't think he played okay for us. But I don't think that we really got anything for it. I was like, to be honest, I thought it was really kind of just like a rental of just like only having them for a minute and then jettisoning him off and him going to Pittsburgh. And I was like, Pittsburgh. We'll see. I guess he's going to be opposite Darius Slay. I was like, maybe he moves to safety, but I think he's going to be opposite Darius Slay, which I was like, to be honest, I was like, I actually don't mind with their team. I was like, I feel like it's weird, because it's like, I feel like Pittsburgh he might actually move to safety now I think about it, because you got Slay on one side and then you got Porter Jr. on the other one. So it's like, I was like, except for certain situations, I was like, I feel like, yeah, you might do three of them three of them matched up. And in the day and age, it really doesn't really matter either, because it's like you're just going to basically put your best defenders at best you can. Now this thing is more flexible for them, where it's like, oh, you got a tight end as your third guy, guess what? Now we got Ramsey. But if not, he could just play back there in safety. So I think that's what it is. I was like, I feel like that'll work out for him. Jonnu Smith, with them, I thought they already had a decent set of tight ends with Washington and Firemuth, and I think Hayward, his brother, is still there. So I was like, but I think they're just really just giving. They're going to run the ball, and I think they're just going to do some max protection. I think with Aaron Rodgers there, and I think it's just going to be easy outlets of just getting the ball to them. And because there's really not a second receiver at this point for them, that I think they're just going to go tight and heavy and play around with all that, and just see who emerges in that next spot. Maybe it's Austin or something like that. So I was like, for the Dolphins, I think I was like, hey, they got an All-Pro defensive player back, so I think that's better than nothing. Whereas the Steelers, I was like, this is a win now move for them. And to be honest with them, I really kind of feel like it's everybody's on their last leg. I don't think it's just Rodgers. I think everybody's on their last leg. Like, I think they'll sign T.J. Watt, but it sort of feels like everybody can go after this year. That's what it just sort of feels like. The Dolphins, everybody's gonna. I was like, I think it's a wrap for all of them. I don't think there's nothing they could do. Their money's tied up too much in the quarterback and the wide receivers, that and the two pass rushers on that are always hurt. So I was like, there ain't really nothing that Miami's gonna do. So it's not really as hopeful. It's really bleak there. But the Steelers, I think the Steelers do still gotta. I was like, I think they're gonna still be in the same position they was last year, getting into a wild card spot. kind of like just because it's such a tough division that they're in. But it wouldn't. I mean, but it wouldn't surprise me because I was like, I feel like they can match up with the Bengals. I was like, I think the Ravens will still be top of the division or whatever. But I do think this. I think this helps because like what you're trying to do with basically with Rodgers, basically have the defense keep it at a low scoring game. To have Rodgers basically have. I was like, if you need that. Not in a shootout, but need him to come up with the drive needed. Because I was like I said, they're going to have the tight ends in the run game and in the passing to where it's like, hey, we're just going to max out everything. But yeah, but for the Dolphins, nothing. To be honest, I kind of might rather have to pick Pittsburgh. I guess good job. You got 2 decent players filling up spots. Anyway. See how this season rolls out. See what else the Dolphins maybe. They're not. Never mind. I'm not even talking.